With another one, guys. We are live with another one. Okay. And make sure I write this down. 62 and 53 as it stands. 62 and 53 with my UFC fight predictions. I am 62 and 53. We are above 500, which is good. This is great. All right. Like I said in my last, live, I didn't do a fight predictions for this last fight night at the Apex. I was very busy that whole week, and then that weekend on Saturday, I was very busy. I did try to catch some UFC fights later on in the night. However, ESPN was trash. ESPN for me was not working. It was freezing. It kept freezing. It wasn't due to my internet. It was definitely due to YouTube record. 10 seconds. Where you were born? I was born in New York. I was born in New York. That's where I was born, man. But yeah, guys. Um, I didn't make my UFC fight predictions for for this last event. ESPN wasn't working for me when I did try to watch the fights later on in the night. But I am making my UFC fight predictions for UFC 314, guys. UFC 314. It is headlined by Volk versus Lopez. This is going to be a good one. This is a great fight card, in my opinion. It's going to be good. It's going to be good from the beginning all the way to the end, in my opinion. This is one of those fight cards that you wait for, and there's a lot of fights on here that are noticeable. No, I don't work. I do not work in the UFC. I do not work in the UFC. I don't work for the UFC. I am independent media. All right, I am independent MMA media, independent mixed martial arts media, and we are here on my live for my UFC fight predictions for UFC 314. Let's start in the very beginning. Okay, this is the early prelims. We got Haley Cohen versus Nora Cornell. Okay, I, Nora Cornell, she's ranked. She's 13th ranked. Haley Cohen, she's not ranked yet. I believe she hasn't fought in a while. Let me check that. Let me check that. I just want to make sure. I believe it's been a while since she's fought. Yeah, yeah. Her last fight, she lost in April 29th, 2023. So we're talking almost 2 years, guys. That Haley hasn't graced the octagon. You know what I mean? And in my opinion, if just based just based on that, guys, I mean, who else are you gonna go for? You know, you're gonna go for the person that's been out for 2 years, Haley Carwell. I don't think so, guys. For that, that's an easy pick for me. I'm going for Nora or Cornell. I'm going for Nora Cornell. I think she ends up taking this. I think she could actually finish this fight. Uh, Probably in the second or third round. I won't be surprised if she does finish the fight. She has an ability, so I do pick Nora Cornell to win that fight, most likely by finish, if not unanimous decision, guys. All right. 10 seconds. What's your page? I am the biggest UFC fan watching since 2015. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. You've been watching since 2015. A lot has happened since 2015. I've been watching UFC since 2004. I was 14. I was about 14 years old, 2004. So I've been watching a very, very long time. And if you are a UFC fan, that's great. It's a good time to be a UFC fan. However, the product has changed since started watching the UFC. It's changed completely. But things evolve, and that's the way it is, man. Uh, Why are you talking about UFC? Well, I'm talking about UFC because this is my UFC 314 fight predictions, guys. I like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. It takes minimal effort to give me the thumbs up, so you might as well do it, all right? We're going to the next fight here. We got Marco Tulio versus Trayshawn Gore. Now, Trayshawn Gore, he's coming out, I believe, of the Ultimate Fighter. He lost against, I want to say, Brian Battles. He has, he has a good overall game. He has a good submission. If you're not up to date with your defensive submission skills, you know what I mean. Trayshawn Gore can take your neck. You know what I mean. He has an ability to do that. He hits hard. Trayshawn Gore, is an up and comer, but I just don't think he has everything the overall game to beat Marco Tulio. I think Marco Tulio, he has a terrific Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I think he has terrific striking. Actually, I think he has better striking than Tresean Gore. So for this, man, I think Marco Tulio is going to be stronger. I think he's going to be more skilled. I think he beats Tresean Gore either by unanimous submission or I'm going to say Marco Tulio wins by unanimous decision, guys. All right, that's my predictions for that fight. I also have some pages on Twitter, some UFC news pages. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Keep doing it, man. Keep doing it. I got to check it out. Andre the Giant. Yes, Andre the Giant. What's wrong with Andre the Giant? What just happened here? I have no idea. All right, we're going down. Now we're in the flyweight division. We got I can't even pronunciate this dude's name. He's from China. Samadorja. Samadorja. I don't know. That's his name. That's the way I'm gonna pronunciate it. Some versus Mitch Raposa. I like Some. He's more experienced than Mitch. Some has taken a lot of damage throughout his career. He's still young. I think he's like 29 or 30 or something like that. Good overall skills. You know, Mitch Raposa. You know, he's good too. He has a good overall game as well. Um, when it comes to Mitch, he's taking some tough losses. You know what I mean? But those losses have been like, I don't want to say close fights, but those fights that he's lost, it's been a fight. Mitch always makes it a fight. You know what I mean? And for me, he's a contender. You know what I mean? He's gonna be a contender soon, in my opinion, just because of the way he fights. He has just tremendous grit, and he has an ability to just stay in the game. He doesn't care if he's getting beat. He's gonna stay in the fight, and he's gonna give you a fight. And if you want to beat him, you're gonna have to eliminate him, and that's a tall task, man. And for that, man, I'm gonna have to go. Did I go for Mitch? Yeah, I did go for Mitch Raposa. I go for Mitch Raposa for this one, man. A lot of people are going for Some just because he has more experience. You know what I mean? He's better overall skills when it comes to, if you had to compare the two. But I'm going for Mitch with this one, guys. I think Mitch is going to be able to pull this one off. I think he wins by unanimous decision. I think Some, he ends up coming out there making it a fight. I think Mitch ends up, going out there, putting to, fist to chins and making this fight really, really interesting. So I'm going for Mitch Raposa for this fight, guys. Korean Zombie versus Michael Chandler. Who wins? I say Korean Zombie, in my opinion. All right, going to the middleweight division in the early prelims here. We got Cedricus Demos versus Michael Alexic Jessup. Alexic Jessup? I can't even pronounce his name. I'm going to call him Michael. Michael versus Dumas. Dumas has some interesting wins, but he's not a great overall mixed martial arts fighter. You know what I mean? It's not like he has some tremendous striking skills, tremendous power that's gonna put you out. How you doing, Mars? Hopefully you're having a good one, guys. Hopefully you're having a good one, man. I haven't seen you in a while, Mars. You know what I mean? Everybody's been bummy around here, man. Nobody's been showing up. But I appreciate you showing up. I appreciate that. Guys, like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. It takes minimal effort to give me the thumbs up. This is my UFC 314 fight predictions, okay? And we're at the Don Moose versus Michael. And going back to Don Moose, he doesn't have a great overall game. It's not like he has a tremendous power or great striking or a scary submission skills. I think Michael has a tremendous skill in staying in the fight. Michael has a tendency to make every fight just ugly. He doesn't give a damn if he's bloodied. He doesn't give a damn if he's getting beat. He's still gonna be in the fight. He's still gonna be in front of your face throwing punches, and that cannot be taught. That skill cannot be taught. That comes with you. That comes with how you was born and bred. And for that reason, I'm going for the Poland Michael to beat Damus, just because to have that tenacity, to have that grit, that can't be taught, man. And I just think Damus doesn't have the ability to finish Michael. And if he doesn't have that ability to finish him, I think Michael stays in the fight, makes the fight ugly, ends up beating Damus, most likely by stoppage, to be honest. All right, guys, moving on. We are finally in the prelims. All right, we're out of the early prelims. We're in the prelims here. We got Julian Rosa versus Darren Elkins. Darren that damage Elkins. If you don't know Darren Elkins, the guy got just go watch his fights because just go watch Darren Elkins fights. The guy, he. The reason why they call him the damage is because the guy he takes tremendous damage, and you could literally virtually almost kill the guy, and he comes back like Michael Myers. Darren Elkins comes back like Michael Myers, and ends up winning some fights. Ends up winning some close fights that he should have lost due to the damage and due to the amount of punches that he has taken. You know what I mean? But Darren Elkins is a dog. He's one of those dogs, you know what I mean, that you cannot put him away. It doesn't matter what combinations you hit the guy with. Darren Elkins, the damage is going to be in front of you the whole time. You know what I mean? You better kill that guy to get him out of the octagon. And that's just the damn truth. Now, when it comes to Julian Erosa, he has some ability. He has that, Julian Erosa has that, like, how can I explain it? Like, he shows up sometimes, he looks amazing, and then the next fight after that, he doesn't show up and he doesn't look so amazing. So he has that ability to really make a fight, a fight. You know what I mean? Julian Rosa has that ability to go in there and use his skills, use what mixed martial arts skills that he has, and make it interesting. You know what I mean? He has that ability. And he also has an ability to beat great competition. But, man, this is a tough one because I love Darren Elkins, man. I'm a fan of Darren Elkins. I met Darren Elkins at a hotel. I met him in Orlando at a hotel. I was staying at a hotel in Orlando. And I just so happened to be going around the lazy river. And all of a sudden, I see somebody with a tattoo on his chest that says "The Damage," and I thought at first it was a joke. I was like, "Wait, what the fuck? Is that Darren?" And I look closer, and it's Darren Elkins playing with his kids. I mean, I would assume those were his kids, but Darren Elkins was in the lazy river in Orlando, just strolling through the lazy river, and I happened to get back up and because I was playing around as well, and I happened to get out of the water, and I'm looking and I see the damage, and I'm like, I just look at him and I'm like, and I point at him, I'm like, you're the damage, Darren Elkins, right? And he just laughs and he smiles at me. He was like, yeah, man, that is me. That is me. And I put my hand out and I was like, man, nice to meet you. And he just put his hand out. He shook my hand. He was a very nice guy. You know what I mean? You wouldn't think that he was a UFC fighter. You wouldn't think that he was that type of dog that goes in there and gets bloodied and, you know what I mean? So it's hard for me to pick against Darren Elkins because he's one of those guys that I actually did meet and I got to actually be social with. And the guy was just a great human being. Even though it was like a 2 to 3 minute, interaction, man, that 2 to 3 minutes, he left an everlasting impression on me. And for that, man, it's hard to pick against him just because he's so awesome. Peace, man. Hopefully you're having a good one, King. I haven't seen you in a while, man. Yeah, man, it's hard for me to pick against Darren Elkins, but I am gonna pick Julian Rosa to win this fight, man. I think Darren Elkins, he's taking some damage, man. He has taken a lot of damage in his career, and I just hope he doesn't go in there and get slept. You know what I mean? That's what I don't want to see, just because I enjoy Darren Elkins. I enjoy his fights. I enjoyed him as a mixed martial arts fighter. I think when it comes to mixed martial art, when it comes to mixed martial arts fighters, they need to be more like Darren Elkins. You know what I mean? Very respectful. You know what I mean? You would never know that Darren Elkins was a mixed martial arts fighter. By looking at him, you would know, but by personality, you wouldn't know, man. Darren Elkins is a great human being, and man, I can't say enough good stuff about Darren Elkins, to be real. But I'm going for Julian Erosa. That's hard for me. That is really, really hard for me because I respect Darren Elkins. But I just hope after this fight he's able to, possibly retire. I hate watching fighters go out there and get beat badly. Like one of my favorite fighters was Tony Ferguson, and watching him get, slapped by Michael Chandler with a front kick in the face. That was, man, that is just horrendous. I'm rooting for Darren Elkins. I can't lie. Like D King said, he's rooting for Darren Elkins. I'm rooting for Darren Elkins too. But if I had to put my money on it, I'm gonna pick Julian Rosa to win this fight. Um, Most likely by unanimous decision. If not unanimous decision, then I do see Julian Rosa hurting Darren Elkins, and possibly jumping on him and getting a submission, but probably a rear naked choke or a guillotine like his recent fights have ended. So I'm going for Julian Rosa to win this fight, but I'm definitely rooting for Darren Elkins. He's such a great human being. All right, moving on to the lightweight bout, we got Jim Miller. Jim Miller is like 42 years old, guys. 41 or something like that. He's an older man. He's going against the young, up and comer Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper gets better with every fight. Go watch Chase Hooper's fights from the very beginning of his career till now, and you will see within every fight that Chase Hooper ends up getting into, he's getting better and better. The guy keeps evolving. And not only does he keep evolving, but he's growing into his body. Like before, he was like this little scrawny little, I don't want to say little because he's not a little guy, but he was a scrawny looking guy. You know what I mean? Like he didn't look like brolic at all. And now he's like growing into his body. He's much more, you can see that he's carrying the weight a lot better in the lightweight division. I believe he walks around at 190, 195. He's a big boy. So to go down to 155, and then probably at fight night, he probably weighs like at 180, 178 at fight night. So he's gonna be a big boy against Jim Miller. And Jim Miller, don't get me wrong, he's a terrific fighter. Terrific fighter. He's been around the game for a very long time. Jim Miller has been around since I basically begun watching the UFC. To be honest with you, Jim Miller has been around for decade. You know what I mean? So, but I have to pick Chase Hooper to win this fight, guys. I think Chase Hooper goes in there and ends up either finishing or getting a submission on Jim Miller. I think just Chase Hooper just keeps getting better and better within every fight. So I'm picking Chase Hooper to win that one, guys. The age difference is insane, guys. It's like 16, 15 year difference. It's crazy to me. I mean, it is what it is, but like I said, I'm going for Chase Hooper, man. All right, guys, we are in the women's division. We got the number 1 Jan versus the number 3 Verna. Look, I like Jan. She did end up competing for the championship belt. She almost got finished in that very early in that fight. The referee did give her a chance, and she did recover. She ends up coming back and winning some rounds, but she ends up losing the fight. But I think Jan is a great overall, mixed martial arts fighter. She really is. She has good she has good striking, good stand up, and she has great abilities. The only thing I worry about when it comes to Jan is her ability to stop the takedown and the ability to stop someone from taking her back. And, going against Verna, Verna has great Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu skills. She has great takedowns. She's like the Marab. Like, she's like the female Marab, basically. Great wrestling. She has an ability to, finish fights by subs. She could take your back really quickly. Look, I like Jan, but if I had to put my money on it, guys, I have to put Verna to win this fight just because Verna has virtually the best wrestling in that division. She has an ability to just use that wrestling and beat her opponents down. So for that reason, I'm gonna give it to Verna. I think Verna ends up, most likely wrestling Jan and beating her to a unanimous decision. That's what I see, guys. Like fighting his dad. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Hi. Holly Holm versus Tiger Woods. I think Holly Holm wins, man. I think Holly Holm wins. You know what I mean? Even if Tiger Woods did have a 9-iron, I think Holly Holmes ends up, head kicking the shit out of Tiger Woods. And then after the head kick, I think Tiger Woods tries to get the number and tries to tap Holly Holmes. I mean, I know I would. Holly Holmes is a hottie. All right, guys, we're moving on. All right, we're almost done with the prelims here. All right, we're going into featherweight. This is a featherweight bout. We got Dan Ige versus Sean Woodson. Look, I like Dan Ige. Dan Ige, he's been around for a while. He's ranked. He's ranked number 15. He's fought against high-level competition. There's not enough good stuff you can say about Dan Ige. He's always game. He's always in there trying to, make it a fight. He's always in there trying to finish, even if he's getting beat. He never strays away from making it a fight. You know what I mean? He's not gonna back up. He's gonna stay in your face, even if he's getting beat, he's getting punched, he's cut up. He's gonna stay in your face. He's gonna try to finish you. He's gonna try to win the fight regardless if he's losing. When it comes to Sean Woodson, I mean, he has every ability. Great striking, great wrestling defense. He has an ability to stay on his feet. His combinations are really, really good. Um, Man, he has a lot of length. He has a lot of length to him. You know what I mean? Tiger Woods is used to finishing girls. Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. O'Malley winning the wrestle with Marab this time. I don't know, man. I don't know. I have no idea about that. If Sean O'Malley tries to wrestle against Marab, he still gets destroyed. I don't think a year. I don't think 2 years is good enough for a person to catch up to Marab. You know what I mean? You'll have to train for years and years and years and years, and only that, and only that martial arts. And for that reason, I don't think Sean O'Malley has that one, guys. But moving on. Um, Look, I like Danny Gay. I like Sean Woodson, but if I had to put my money on it right now, I'm going for Sean Woodson. I did pick Sean Woodson, man. Yeah, I'm going for Sean Woodson. He has just better striking. He has an ability to use his length really, really well, man. And I think he's gonna most likely ends up finishing Dan Ige. If he doesn't finish Dan Ige, then he wins by unanimous decision, man. That's my opinion for that. All right, guys, we're in the main card now. Okay, we are in the main card, and the main card opens up with Krylov, Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes. This is one of those fights that I want to believe. You know what I mean? Is Sean Woodson that tall, skinny guy? Yeah. Sean Woodson is that tall, skinny guy. Sean Woodson is that tall, skinny guy. He has a awkward type of body, but he makes the fight fun, man. He makes the fight fun. You've learned a lot about each and every fighter on each event. Yeah, I tried to. That's part of the reason why I didn't do the fight predictions. This last fight predictions for UFC Apex. I just didn't have the time. I honestly, I just didn't have the time to really dissect and dive into each and every one of those fighters. So I didn't want to make a fight predictions. I didn't want to make a fight prediction for that UFC Apex that just passed on Saturday, just because of that reason. I was very busy, and on Saturday, luckily I didn't make the fight predictions because on Saturday, that night when I ended up trying to watch the UFC, event, ESPN wasn't working for me. ESPN kept freezing on me. I literally did not even watch one fight. I literally tried to watch the ESPN fights, on ESPN, the fights on ESPN, and unfortunately, it just kept freezing. You know what I mean? It literally kept freezing. So I'm happy I didn't make a UFC fight predictions for that one. However, I am definitely making a UFC fight prediction for this one, okay? So we got Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes, and this is one of those fights that I want to believe. I want to believe Dominic Reyes is, he's on the up and up. That's what I want to believe. I want to believe Dominic Reyes is coming back, you know what I mean? And he shows the best of himself, right? Because it's been tough. It's been a tough one, you know what I mean? Like, he's had some tough losses. You know what I mean? He had some tough losses. You know what I mean? I mean, he lost. Reyes lost against Blachowicz. You know what I mean? But let's start off with John Jones. Let's start off with this trajectory, right? He loses against John Jones. Reyes against John Jones. He loses against John Jones, arguably. Then he loses against Blachowicz, right? And then he gets totally KO'd by Jerry Prohaska. He ends up getting KO'd again by Span. But then he starts coming back. You know what I mean? Dominic Reyes starts actually having some good wins in his arsenal. You know what I mean? Like some good wins under his belt. We got Reyes versus Jacoby. He ends up beating Jacoby in the first round by TKO. He ends up fighting, after that, Reyes ends up fighting Smith. Even though Smith is a dead body, I'm just being honest, Smith is a dead body. He ends up going there and finishes him in the second round. So I do want to say that, Dominic Reyes is on the up and up, right? But this is a tall order for Dominic, man, because Nikita Krylov, he has abilities, man. He can knock your fucking head off. You know what I mean? He has an ability to knock your head off. He has great skills, great overall skills. You know what I mean? It's not like you're gonna go in there and knock out Nikita Krylov. It's just not gonna happen. The guy's gonna stay in the fight, and for that reason, you know what I mean. It's hard to pick, Dominic Reyes. It really, really is. But I'm a fan of Dominic Reyes. So as a fan, it's the same situation why I want to go for Darren Elkins. That's the reason why I want to go for Darren Elkins, and I ended up not going for Darren Elkins is just I'm a fan of Darren Elkins. You know what I mean? So same thing with Dominic Reyes. I'm a fan of Dominic Reyes. So it's hard for me not to pick Dominic Reyes. But you know what? For this situation, I am going to pick Dominic Reyes, but I would not be surprised if Dominic Reyes loses. But if Dominic Reyes wins this fight, I say he wins this fight by unanimous decision. Nikita Krylov makes it a fight. It's bloody. It's ugly. And Dominic Reyes ends up winning by unanimous decision. That's my final pick for that, man. I don't even want to go through that again just because I'm a fan of Dominic Reyes and Darren Elkins, man. We want that Reyes comeback. Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man. That Reyes that fought John Jones the first time, man, I want to see that Dominic Reyes again, man. I really do. That Dominic Reyes was brutal, and he was brute. You know what I mean? He showed some real skills, man. All right, that's three championships in a row. Reyes thought he beat Jones. You need help, bro. All right, I need help, guys. I need help. Vintage guy just said I need help, but yet he's out here watching another man, and I'm the one who needs help. That's crazy to me. You know what I mean? If you're watching another man and you're worried about what another man does, it just speaks volumes about your personality and who you are. You know what I mean? So, if you're on here, trying to spew hate, you need help. I think you need help, man. To be honest with you, stop the incest. All right, stop the incest. We're getting too much retards out here. You know what I mean? But next fight, all right, we're going to the featherweight bout, the one that everybody's been talking about, the one that everybody's been waiting for. We got Bryce Mitchell, number 13 ranked, versus John Silva, the up-and-coming John Silva. If you guys don't know, excuse me, the backstory to this, you know what I mean? According to Bryce Mitchell, John Silva put legions of demons on his head. John Silva put legions of demons on Bryce Mitchell's head. Bryce Mitchell made a YouTube video talking about that John Silva did voodoo on him. He didn't have an ability to sleep. He was having sleepless nights because all these demons were coming to visit him. He said he was being tempted by sex and pussy. This is all the legions of demons that John Silva has put on him. Just crazy shit, man. Just crazy shit that Bryce Mitchell was actually stating. Look, it's hard to pick against John Silva. John Silva has eliminated almost every one of his, adversaries. Every time he steps into the octagon, it's exciting. You can expect a finish. John Silva goes in there, and not only does he expect to finish, he wants to finish. You know what I mean? You can tell. When it comes to Bryce Mitchell, this is going to be a tall task for him just because the UFC is hoping John Silva goes in there and finishes Bryce Mitchell for the stupidity that he talked about earlier this year. I'm going to pick John Silva to win this fight. I think John Silva goes in there, finishes Bryce Mitchell, most likely by a TKO, KO. I think John Silva finally becomes ranked, and he starts making way, to that top 5 featherweight, guys. And I think John Silva, by the end of 2025, he is going to be a serious contender. He's going to finish with the demons. Yeah, I'm telling you. Mitchell, a religion fanatic, fundamentalist, extremist. Yeah, I agree with that. I like the way you stated that, for sure, 100%. Guys, like and subscribe if you are new to the channel, okay? Like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. It takes minimal effort to give me the thumbs up, so you might as well do it, guys. Michael says Jesus on his side. Yeah, I think so. I think that's the only person that's on his side right now is Jesus, right? All right, guys. We got another featherweight bout here. We got Yair Rodriguez, the number 5th ranked, the Yair Rodriguez versus Patricio Pitbull. Patricio Pitbull is actually coming from Bellator. and coming from other organizations, I believe he competed in Glory or something like that. Maybe I have no idea. Patricio Pitbull was I don't want to say is, but was a great mixed martial arts fighter. He had a tremendous run, tremendous fights with Michael Chandler, some of the best fights with Michael Chandler. Regardless what organization the fight was held in, it was a great fight. And Patricio Pitbull is welcomed to the UFC by a tough Yair Rodriguez. Yair Rodriguez has every ability. You know what I mean? You cannot look at Yair Rodriguez and look at him and say he doesn't have an overall game. He has finishes, by submission. And he finished Brian Ortega by submission. And Brian Ortega is a submission artist. Okay, so you can't look at Yair Rodriguez and say, oh, he's not an overall, mixed martial arts fighter. He is. He has an ability to, get it to the ground and finish by sub. But not only that, Yair Rodriguez also, he has tremendous striking. He has striking that is so unorthodox. You can never tell what Yair Rodriguez is gonna do. He can hit you with a back flip, side kick, front kick all at once. You know what I mean? Like, Yair Rodriguez just has that ability. Now, when it comes to Patricio Pitbull, he has an ability. He has his abilities, but his main ability is power punching. You know what I mean? Like, Patricio Pitbull is a power puncher. He likes to wait and pick his punches. You know what I mean? He doesn't throw anything without it having some umph behind it. You know what I mean? And I think that's gonna be Patricio Pitbull's biggest downfall, because his biggest downfall is he waits too much. He stands in front of his opponent flat-footed, and he waits for the perfect moment to throw a combination with tremendous power, and it'll land sometimes, and he will totally miss. So, for this fight, when it comes to Pitbull, I think Yair Rodriguez picks him apart, man. Just because if Pitbull stands in front of Yair like that, like he usually does, just flat-footed, waiting to unleash this godly power punch. I think Yair Rodriguez finishes him. I think Yair Rodriguez finishes him early too. You know what I mean? So for that reason, guys, I'm gonna have to pick Yair Rodriguez to beat Patricio Pitbull. It's gonna be an interesting fight. It's gonna be interesting to see how Patricio Pitbull actually fights this particular fight. But I'm gonna go with Yair Rodriguez to finish this one, most likely by either unanimous decision or finish. I don't see a submission here, but I do see a finish for sure. Did he fight Chandler before? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He did. John Jones is ducking Tom. Not really. Jones will retire before letting Tom Aspinall tear his ass off the frame, proving he was, promotional high fighter. It's crazy for me. Okay, Grower, it's crazy for me, you know what I mean, that people actually really think that John Jones is running away from Tom Aspinall. I honestly don't think John Jones is running away from anybody, man. If you look at Tom Aspinall, he's been touching the chin multiple times. He has virtually no head movement. Tom Aspinall is, in my opinion, overrated. You know what I mean? Like, look at the level of competition that he's fought, and then look at the level of competition that John Jones has fought. Totally fucking day and night. I'm just speaking facts. You know what I mean? Tom Aspinall has no one to build his name off of. That's why he wants the John Jones fight. There's nobody there. The heavyweight division is in shambles. Okay, who is he gonna build his name off of? Who is Tom Aspinall gonna build his name off of besides fighting John Jones? There's nobody there, guys. Okay, there's only John Jones, and in my opinion, John Jones he already has walked away from the UFC. The only thing he's waiting for is to give the UFC their belt. But in reality, John Jones is not gonna fight another fight in the octagon and with the UFC. I could put my bottom dollar on that one. John Jones and Tom Aspinall will not happen. And Tom Aspinall will not be getting that fight. And to say that John Jones is running away from Tom Aspinall, that is blasphemy. It really is. For a guy who's fought the who's who, he's fought everybody. You know what I mean? He could have ducked so many other fighters. You know what I mean? He could have ducked DC for years. He could have ducked DC if he wanted to, but he didn't duck anybody. He took all, the up and comers. You know what I mean? He beat them all. So to say that John Jones is running away from Tom Aspinall, that is crazy talk. That literally is crazy talk to me, because I can't understand it. The guy's undefeated. He's beaten everybody. The only way he's been beaten was by beating himself, by getting disqualified. Like, wow, it's crazy to me that people are out here really thinking that John Jones is out here running away from Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall has nothing to offer John Jones. Not even a payday. That's not gonna be a payday for John Jones. That's not a fight that people are getting excited for. I'm not excited to see that. I'm not excited to see Tom Aspinall versus John Jones. Who the fuck is excited for that? That whole division is in shambles. All they got is John Jones. Moving on from that, guys. We got Michael Chandler versus Patty the Baddie Pimlet. All right. Jones is scared. Oh my God. Pitbull will stand there and bang with no movement. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, the King. He just doesn't. He has no movement. Jones been scared. He admitted he was scared. So he wouldn't need a lot of money to fight Tom. Tom has beat everyone else. What kind of champ is scared to defend his belt? He's ducking now. But Jones will fight a bum who hasn't fought in 5 years. You're delusional, bro. Tom is heavyweight champ. Jones is a cokehead. Is it bright pink or dark purple? Man, man, to call me delusional, that's crazy talk, bro. That is insanity right now, man. That's crazy to me. There's nobody who can Tom Aspinall fight besides John Jones. Let's take John Jones out of the picture, man. Let's take John Jones out of the picture. If John Jones wasn't in the heavyweight division, who would Tom Aspinall fight? He'll fight what? Cyril Gahn? He'll fight Curtis Blades again. He'll fight what? Derek Lewis, number 9 round. He'll fight Tai Tuivasa, number 10th rank. Guys, there's nobody fucking there. Let me look at who Tom has fought. You know what I mean? As his resume. Let me see who Tom has fought to get that resume. Okay. Aspinall versus Spivak. Are you fucking in it? Wow. Volkov versus Aspinall. Blades versus Aspinall. Aspinall versus Topuria. Pavlovic versus Aspinall. Aspinall versus Blades. Like, you guys are fucking kidding me, man. You're delusional if you really think that Tom Aspinall is better than John Jones. You're crazy, bro. You're crazy. That's crazy talk. That's crazy fucking talk. You're out of line, man. You're the one who's delusional, man. In my opinion, you're the one that's delusional. I'm just being real, man. Like, if you look at, oh my God, if you look at John Jones' just resume, it's fucking crazy. It's insanity of the amount of fighters and great fighters this guy has beaten. You know what I mean? Like he's beaten everybody. He beat Brandon Vera when Brandon Vera was. Everybody was talking about Brandon Vera being the light heavyweight and the heavyweight champion. He could have ducked Brandon Vera. You know what I mean? Then, you know what I mean. But John Jones beat Brandon Vera, TKO'd him by vicious elbows. Okay, so, man, to say that John Jones is running away from him, that's crazy. And then we got John Jones versus Shogun Rua, who was just killing everybody in that division at that time. Beats Shogun Rua, a legend in the game. John Jones versus Rampage Jackson. Jackson was in a tear. He's beaten, beats Chuck Liddell, knocks out Chuck Liddell, has terrific fights with Forrest Griffin. John Jones fights Machida. Machida was on a tear as well. He was beating everybody, with that karate, it's crazy. His resume is nuts. His resume is crazy, man. So to say that John Jones is scared of Tom Aspinall, like, you are eating toilet water. Admit it, you're a Jones fanboy. I'm not a Jones fanboy, man. I'm really not. I'm just speaking facts, man. It's crazy for me to actually believe that John Jones is running away from anybody. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. If I'm a UFC fighter, right, and I've never gotten a huge payday, like, I've never gotten a huge payday. Never. You know what I mean? Like, I've gotten paid what I'm worth, don't get me wrong, but I've never gotten that ridiculous payday like Conor McGregor type of shit. And if I haven't gotten that yet, and I'm arguably the best mixed martial arts fighter in UFC history to ever grace the octagon, and I have another person who's gotten paid more than me, yeah, I'm gonna wait it out. Straight up. I'm gonna wait it out myself. Because in my opinion, if I'm looking around, I'm like, damn, I'm the best of the best, and I'm not getting paid the most. No, that's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? That's most likely John Jones' mentality. He's like the UFC has been, fucking, going under the table with him for a long time, and now he's like, I'm in a position where I have the title, I have the heavyweight, the heavyweight strap. So if you want me to fight Tom Aspinall, you're gonna have to give me some bucks, and if not, here you go. I have nothing to prove. So it's just crazy to me, guys. It's crazy. Name another champ who's scared to defend. I don't think anybody is scared to defend. I don't think anybody was scared to defend. That's like saying that Conor McGregor was scared to defend his title against Jose Aldo when he knocked out Jose Aldo in 10 seconds. Was Conor McGregor scared to fight Jose Aldo? Because that fight, arguably in my opinion, that fight should have happened right after Conor McGregor beat Jose Aldo. And Jose Aldo never got the opportunity to fight Conor McGregor ever again. The UFC made sure that they kept Conor McGregor away from Jose Aldo after that. We're not arguing out here that Conor McGregor was scared of Jose Aldo. Like, it's the same thing. It's especially the same thing. Anyways, moving on. We got Michael Chandler versus Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. We got Michael Chandler, number 7th rank. We got Paddy the Baddy, number 12th rank. It's going to be a crazy fight. Michael Chandler has an ability to be the Iron Michael Chandler in there. He just throws punches to the wind, and he tries to knock your head off into the third row. He has tremendous power. Paddy Pimblett, he has skills everywhere. He has some great striking. He also has some submission skills as well. A lot of people are thinking that Paddy the Baddy is going to take this one. That's what a lot of people are thinking. But in my opinion, I think Michael Chandler, he's just a step up when it comes to the level of competition that Paddy the Baddy is used to. You know what I mean? Paddy the Baddy has taken, some tough fights. You know what I mean? There's been fights in there that he's almost been, he's been cracked. And in my opinion, I think Michael Chandler has an ability to find that chin. So if I had to pick anybody and put my bottom dollar on it, I'm picking Michael Chandler just because Michael Chandler has fought higher level competition. You know what I mean? Paddy the Baddy hasn't fought, the Oliveras of the world. He hasn't fought the Justin Gaethjes of the world. He hasn't fought, the Dustin, the Diamond Poirier of the world. Paddy the Baddy hasn't fought even close to the level of competition that Michael Chandler has fought. So for that reason, man, I'm going to have to pick Michael Chandler to win this fight. I think Michael Chandler ends up going in there. Paddy the Baddy gets sloppy, ends up, taking one to the chin. Michael Chandler finally gets a win in the UFC. It's been a long time. And, I think Michael Chandler takes that fight, guys. That's my final pick for that one. Paddy and Chandler are two more scripted wrestlers. Who's winning this Stanky Cup this year? Chandler built like a turtleback. Yeah, he really is. I think Chandler is too much pressure and power for Paddy. That's my opinion too, and he's bigger. Yep. I thought you didn't F with Chandler. I don't F with Chandler. You know what I mean? I think he's one of the biggest cheats in the UFC, to be honest with you, especially when it came to the Oliveira fight. He cheated more than 10 times. He grabbed the fence multiple times. What else he did? He eye poked. He hit behind the head. He did multiple things to try to win that fight. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm not a Chandler fan, but I have to be realistic when I'm making my fight predictions. So I think Michael Chandler ends up taking that one and beating Paddy the Baddy. All right, moving on. We're finally in the main event of the evening, the one that everybody has been waiting for. Okay, we got Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez. Okay, this is a tough one. This is a tough pick right here because the last two times we saw Alexander, it was him getting finished. And we're not really used to that. We're not used to, Alex, getting finished in that manner. You know what I mean? He got finished, by Islam with a vicious head kick. He had like 3-day notice for that fight though, and then afterwards, 2 to 3 months later, he fights, Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria ends up, knocking him out with a vicious, I think it was a right hand or something like that. The last time you saw Alex, it was very compromised position. You know what I mean? And for Diego Lopez, he's just been getting better and better with every fight. You know what I mean? Like, if you watch that last fight with Brian Ortega, I mean, he virtually knocked out Brian Ortega and woke him up with a vicious combination. And Brian Ortega was just never in that fight against Diego Lopez after that. Um, I think Diego Lopez has an ability to have, you know, tremendous power. And not only tremendous power, but he has combinations that are crazy. You know what I mean? Like he's a really, really good mixed martial arts fighter, man. So I'm gonna go with my feels today. You know what I mean? Volk to get cracked again and then retire. My brain says Lopez, but my heart says Volk. Yeah, that's basically where I'm at, man. That's basically where I'm at when it comes to this UFC fight prediction right here. My heart is telling me to go with Volk just because I'm a fan of Volk. You know what I mean? I love the way the guy fights. I love the way he carries himself as a champion, as a martial artist. He's a great example of how you should carry yourself. Now, when it comes to Diego Lopez, he's very similar. Carries himself with great respect. He takes mixed martial arts very seriously. You can tell by his outings out in the UFC octagon. But it's hard for me to pick against Alex. I want to see, just like how we want to see Dominic Reyes come back and have that crazy winning streak and then finally get back to the title. Like I want to see Dominic Reyes do that. And that's the same thing I want to see Alexander Volkanovski do too. I want to see Alex go in there, beat Diego Lopez, get on the mic, call out Ilya Taporia again. You know what I mean? And say that those two losses that he suffered was due to just having a lot of mileage, back to back. You know what I mean? Like fighting, getting KO'd, and then fighting again 2 to 3 months later. That's not healthy for you. So I'm hoping Alex can show us the difference between a 3 months layoff of Alex versus a year to two, layoff where Alex come back, he's healthy, his brain is intact, and yeah, I'm gonna pick Alex to win this fight. I think Alex ends up winning this. He ends up outpointing Diego Lopez, and he wins by unanimous decision. That's my final pick for that one. I'm just hoping Alex doesn't go in there and fight scared. I hope he's back to his normal self, and he basically put those two knockouts in the back. And he never looks at them again. So I'm gonna pick Alex to win this fight. That's my final pick. That's my UFC fight prediction for UFC 314, guys. All right. That's it, man. I'm 62-53 when it comes to my UFC fight predictions. Like I told you in my last live, I did not make the UFC fight predictions for this last event, the UFC Apex on Saturday. I was busy, so didn't get to do it. But I'm gonna continue doing it as we move forward. Okay. And he's big. Vote to get crowd. Right. Yeah. But guys, that's it, man. That's it. I've been on for almost an hour. I didn't think this UFC fight predictions would take this long, but it actually took this long just because there's a lot of explanations that you have to make for each and every bout. But that's it, man. That's my UFC fight predictions. Hopefully, I'll come out of this at the winning end, at least above 500, like I always say. But you guys have a good one, man. Have a strong week. You guys have a good one. Blessed to you, blessed to your family. And you already know, man, stay safe. And like I always say, guys, like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. It takes minimal effort to give me the thumbs up. So please support the channel. And I appreciate each and every one of you supporting, independent MMA media. It's hard out here for a pimp. You already know how it is. But yeah, you still have a winning record. Yeah, I still have a winning record, man. I can't hate about that. You know what I mean? 62-53. I still have a winning record. You know what I mean? I want to continue, to have a winning record throughout 2025. But yeah, guys, you guys like and subscribe. All right, you guys have a safe one. And this is it. This is my UFC fight predictions. Go back and see about my fight predictions, and leave your thoughts on the comments. You know what I mean? You already know what it is.